Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hello guys, another podcast with me, your best friend when it comes to Facebook ads, Konstantinos. Before we even start today, the whole podcast is going to be, an effort to try and explain why CPMs are high and all of that. And what I'm trying to do with this episode is not to give you just one excuse for the results that are bad or everything, but I would really like you to understand that this is a game which is beyond our understanding and there are a lot of things that are happening. I'm just going to give you some cases and some things. One thing that I want to before we even go to all the things that I want to cover about the CPMs and why they're more expensive and everything, the advertising is more expensive. I would like to let you know that there's an error right now in the last 7 days across ad accounts. I can see that there are some ads that they are being in processing mode or they are not being published, and often they have an error, which is this. It says ad processing error, we're having trouble processing your request. To resolve the issues, please try to publish again. If you continue to experiencing issues, please contact support. We apologize for the inconvenience, and it's hashtag 264-3020. So this is one thing that I have seen consistently between ad accounts, and some people told me about it. So I really need you to know that the only solution to that is to publish again your campaign. And in other words, don't trust so much your campaigns right now when you're publishing them. Just check them again and again if they have started or not, because a lot of them they're being stuck in scheduling and they don't start. So I had an incident, but there are other people also telling me this, so I'm pretty sure that this is the case. So heads up, when you're scheduling a campaign, please watch it carefully to see if it's going to start eventually or not. Now, let's discuss with our main topic for today, which is, of course, the higher CPMs that we experience, and maybe we can expand a little bit in what we can do. There has been a confirmation in several ways from Meta that we are seeing also that, and I'm just giving you one of the messages from one of the Meta reps that they said there's an investigation Meta is currently running since there seems to be a sieve or something going on with which has caused the cost per acquisition CPAs to be really high post Valentine's Day till now, which is what we observed also after the middle of February until now. We see worse results and more expensive CPMs. They still are trying to figure out what is causing it. Once I get external communication to send, I will send it to you. So this is coming from a Meta rep, but not just a Meta rep. It's from the high ranks, from one of my big spender ad accounts. One thing that I want to point out here is that the CPMs haven't changed so much, have not changed so much in terms of increasing a lot, because I was looking at this, because they didn't say CPMs, they said, and we often tend to talk about CPMs because the CPMs is the metric that it's actually showing if it's going to show or shows if we're going to have good or expensive advertisement, and they're focusing just in cost of acquisition or cost per acquisition, or cost per purchase, as we may want to call it, or cost per lead, whatever. Everything has been impacted, and not in the CPM, because the CPMs have not increased that much. So that being said, that's one thing that Meta is also discussing internally to see what is wrong. But I would like also to give some other things to the discussion, because this is the main topic of today, and then I have a whole PDF which we will discuss. So this is coming from the newsletter of Triple Whale, basically they say March Madness, and they have over here a table which is all about cost per click, CPM, CPA, and ROAS and everything. So they just compare things with the previous week, and it says Meta had a tough time last week. We looked at 3,000 accounts, which is good because Triple Whale has access to many accounts. Brands over 1 million, okay, which is also good because they're not just seeing small ad accounts but big spending ad accounts, so that we can know that it's not just a normal small ad account which is being impacted. Comparing last Thursday to last Wednesday, the previous Thursday, and MDD, no matter how you slice it, things weren't great. So we have cost per click, 24.62 vs Wednesday. So it's rising, it's becoming more expensive. Then we have CPM, which is more expensive as a percentage, again from the previous Wednesday or previous or from the last Thursday. Then we have cost per acquisition, which is more expensive, and then we have ROAS, which is lower, of course, because the cost per acquisition is more expensive. So I'm going to leave it as a print screen so that you are going to be able to study it a little bit and understand it. But I'm telling you, this is not there are a lot of people that they are noticing this, including big companies or Triple Whale or other people, and either you see it in your ad account or not, or on Reddit, it's everywhere. One thing that I want to point out here is that I'm seeing that, let's say, most of my ad accounts are recovering. Why am I saying that? Because some of my big ad accounts have not been impacted a lot, just a little bit. Some smaller ad accounts I have seen they have been impacted a lot, and some medium a lot also. So what I'm trying to say here is this. I'm seeing them recovering, but not from the perspective that I'm having the results that I had on January. I'm seeing them recovering from the perspective that I do see that instead of having 7 bad days, now we have 2 medium days, 2 very good days, and 2 bad days. Before, at the start of March, for example, it was almost all of them, there were bad days and there was only 1 good day. So I'm seeing that now I'm seeing more days being good and more days being medium and just 2 bad days. And I'm pretty sure by my discussions with other people that there are more and more that they see it like this. Just to cover more this topic, I have a PDF which was given to me because we need to discuss a little bit what is happening right now with Temu. You all remember Wish.com. Before Temu it was Wish.com, and you would see a carousel coming with this glass, for example, selling for 30 cents. Or selling something that doesn't make sense to be that cheap. For example, my wallet over here, for example, it was selling a wallet, for example, for $1. Okay, things like that. Things that they look a little bit, strange. How can it be so cheap? And the reasoning is that okay, we have better prices because we cut the middleman, and you take the price of a wholesaler. The same thing now is happening with Temu. All of you are seeing Temu. Most probably you're seeing also Temu because there are a lot of people that they just advertise Temu because they have affiliate programs with them. And the fun fact is that they get 20% of it. But if you're getting 20% of something that it's selling for $2 and $1 and $3, what are you getting? 20 cents per item. I just don't get it in the way... Anyway, the thing with Temu is that is Chinese money. I don't think that it's going to just die like Wish. But they're doing some sketchy things like being negative. Okay, basically they're losing money out of it. And I would like to go and read with you this PDF that I have, and let's discuss. Let's discuss it. So, Temu push into America pays off big time for Meta and Google. So basically this article is all about by Dana Mattioli, Suzanne Vranica and Miles Krupa. So the e-commerce platform parent company spent nearly 2 billion at Meta last year, and it was a top advertiser at Google. So this was updated on the March 7th of 2024 with changes. So it's just something which is not a previous from the 2023. We have this. So it says, basically the article is all about showing how a new big player is actually changing the Meta's stock price, and I see it from another perspective. There is another player which is coming and spending 2 billion, or I would see it from the same perspective if it was 20 million accounts coming and spending 2 billion more. So in that case, we have a player which is coming and spends 2 billion alone in 2023. So you can imagine that they are already spending a lot. I'm not saying that necessarily Temu is behind all of these expensive prices on cost per acquisition or higher CPMs or whatever, but I'm just saying that we need to start thinking like this, and we need to start seeing different things and patterns in order for us to be able to calculate. Can you do anything though about it? No, but it's always good to know the truth and just try to calculate why this has happened or not. So let's go. Meta Platforms, top advertiser by revenue in 2023 was the e-commerce company Temu, an upstart discounter founded in China that has emerged as an increasingly potent force in American business. PDD Holdings, the parent company of Temu, spent nearly 2 billion on advertisement last year at Meta, according to people familiar with the matter. Surprising executives at the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Temu also became one of Google's top 5 advertisers by spending last year, according to people familiar with this business. A Temu spokesman disputed the 2 billion figure, but declined to disclose the company's spending levels on Meta. The volume of advertising from Temu, which launched in 2022, has caught executives off guard at both tech companies, which have long been the dominant players in digital marketing. Temu, fast fashion giant Shein, and other online shopping platforms with Chinese roots are spending aggressively to reach American consumers, pushing up digital advertising prices, poaching logistics employees, and delivering so many products that they have become a boon to the shipping industry. So we do have an acknowledgement here from the article that yes, there has been a major increase in the advertisement cost because of that. For example, AirPods, for example, you can see that they have some AirPods for $7, some crazy prices. 2 packs of towels for $2, whatever that may be. So this is what it is. Temu's aggressive spending on ads to reach US shoppers is helping push up digital ad prices, is the name of the picture that we have here. And then the ensuing ad battle in the e-commerce space is welcome news for Meta and Google, helping the tech giants' ad businesses rebound after they were hampered by an advertising slowdown and new Apple policies that hurt the platform ability to target ads. So the big question here, guys, is this. Is Meta going to stop something like this? Most probably not, because they're taking money, and after what happened with Apple, nobody helped Meta to recover. They have done it on their own. So I guess all of the other people advertising, they're just going to take the hit, or they will have to find a way. But it makes also sense from the perspective, do you remember some podcasts ago that I was discussing about bullying your competition and all of that? This is the epitome of that, because Temu is losing money. It's not making money. They have a different model. Okay, so which I'm not the expert to explain it to you, but even they acknowledge the fact that they are losing money. So even, for example, Amazon at the start, when it started, it was losing money. You can see interviews of Jeff Bezos talking about how they were losing money and that this is the model and that they're going to build an umbrella companies around it and so on. So over here, we have also something like this, which has a lot of money, spending a lot of money, bullying all the competition, making everything super expensive. So some advertisers are going to stop advertising because they lose money, and at the end of the day, making better terms, for all of that. I'm keep thinking right now, would I advertise for Temu if they ask me? I guess if they give me millions, I would. But I think it would be a crazy amount of campaigns and all of that with different products and different cars and all of that, different promotion. I guess you have to be only working for them. But anyway, it didn't happen, so why do we even discuss it? Meta stock price surged in early February after it posted its best quarterly sales growth in more than 2 years. Revenue from the company China operations nearly doubled last year, reaching 13.69 billion, a big reversal from the prior year when revenue fell almost 3% to 7.4 billion. By contrast, revenue growth from US-based customers was only 5.5% to 49.78 billion for 2023. Internally, Meta employees joked that they should thank Temu by sending them a hefty Temu gift card. A personal familiar with the issue said Goldman Sachs estimated that Temu's marketing spending contributed to an average loss of $7 an order in 2023. Temu is likely losing money on every sale as it attempts to invest their way into a position in the marketplace, said Brian Weiser, an advertising analyst. If it doesn't work, or if it decides that they've spent enough money on advertising, that would become a headwind for big tech companies such as Meta. However, Weiser noted that because spending coming from China is so broad, a pullback from Temu wouldn't make a significant dent in the Meta's overall growth. But you do see that there are other people that they think with my way, so they're pushing their way through by just throwing people outside of the game because they're making advertising too expensive. So it's always back to the same principle that we always say: look at your numbers. If your numbers are not healthy, okay, sometimes we see Shark Tank, okay, and if you are not involved within an e-commerce or a business, you're just seeing people saying, okay, I'm producing this for $5, but I'm selling it for 45 or 50. And people saying they're stealing us, they're robbing us. No, it's not about that. It's because it's too expensive to advertise. And when you do all of that, then if you don't have good margins, the next time that someone is going to come with better margins than you, then it's going to take you outside of the market. Which is happening here, which happened before with iOS. For example, we didn't have Temu, but we had iOS coming, so we had less reporting, less data, advertising became more expensive because of that. And all of that meant that there are companies that they were doing really well before the iOS change, and they were doing really bad after the iOS change, so they had to stop because it was not sustainable for them anymore. So looking at your numbers and having very good profit margins, it's not a cheating. It's actually a healthy thing. Okay, you need to have good profit margins, and this is why after some point, after the iOS, for example, we ended up advertising mostly tech companies or digital products and stuff that they were having 100% profit. It was easier to do it that way. So let's continue to the next one. Good executives called out the growth in revenue from Asia in 2023 in its fourth quarter earnings call. We had particular strength in retail in APAC. I don't know what is this. Through the end of the year, the company said January. I don't care about this. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Google. Google, part of parent company Alphabet, has also actively counted Temu's business. Its sales representatives in China have discussed with Temu executives the impact of supply chain issues as part of efforts to monitor the company advertising spending levels. People familiar with the relationship said. While Temu advertising playbook has concentrated on using online marketing to lure in customers, the company has also used TV's biggest night of the year, the Super Bowl. Yeah, we all know the Super Bowl promotion from Temu. We know two promotions, Super Bowl, and we know also Super Bowl, and we know Kanye West amazing video being on his car, not caring about having a super expensive production. Temu dropped tens of millions of dollars on each Super Bowl marketing effort, which included airing several commercials, CBS broadcast of the big game. It ran a 30-second ad 4 times during Super Bowl and again during the post-game coverage. This year, brands paid roughly $7 million for 30 seconds of ad time during the Super Bowl, the priciest ad real estate on TV. We know about the 7 million from Kanye West. I think he said that, okay, I will pay the 7 million, but I'm just going to make something from my car about Yeezy.com. Temu's animated commercial, which touched shop like a billionaire, because this is their motto, guys. They say that billionaires or millionaires, they have access to better prices because they talk to wholesalers. So they get better price. So the girl dancing around and throwing out low prices. It was Temu's second appearance in the Super Bowl after the company made its debut in the big game in 2023. The Super Bowl is seen as a go-to destination for new brands hoping to become household names by putting themselves in front of the massive audience that the game routinely tracks. Some 123.4 million viewers tuned in to see the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 79ers, making the game the most watched TV program of all time. The Super Bowl ad barrage last month helped Temu generate plenty of buzz online. Temu was the second most mentioned Super Bowl advertiser this year on official platforms after Verizon, which ran an ad featuring Beyonce, according to Sprout Social. I disagree. Kanye West promotion was the one thing that was discussed the most, not this stupid Verizon advertisement. The social media analytics firm found that Temu had 40,448 mentions and 420k engagements, including likes, shares, and comments on game day. Let me see if there is something else that we really want. So not all the buzz was positive. Oh, these are nice. Okay. So Temu has come under allegations that some of its products contain cotton sourced from China's Xinjiang region. 2022 US law largely bans the import of goods tied to that region, where the US has accused Chinese authorities of committing genocide and using forced labor in the repression of mostly Muslim, I cannot spell that or say it, Jaguars, I guess. Okay. Beijing has denied the allegations. Shipping companies saw an uptick in Temu deliveries after it aired in Super Bowl ads. So the shipping company said that they had more orders from them. We've definitely seen very positive growth from Temu. It does feel like it's more post-Super Bowl, said Andy Whiting, founder and chief executive of last mile delivery company Better Trucks. E-commerce companies ship 10,000 tons of goods a day by air out of China, and Shein and Temu account for more than 70% of the packages. So Shein alone and Temu, they are the 70% of all the packages that are being shipped right now to globally. E-commerce companies ship 10,000 tons of goods a day by air out of China. That's crazy. In the US, Shein and Temu each ship an estimate 1 million packages a day, according to parcel shipping consultant ShipMatrix. The volume of ads brought by Temu, Shein, and other places rising the prices of certain ad spots, according to some CEOs. They are spending a large amount of money on marketing. Chief Executive John Silverman said in November, I think those two players are almost single-handedly having an impact on the cost of advertising, particularly in some paid channels in Google and in Meta. Pinterest CEO welcomed the big spenders during the company's third quarter earnings call. because nobody advertised there. I guess. Who advertises on Pinterest? Temu has been a nice. I will not comment on any specific, but just sort of Asian e-commerce exporters generally have been a nice contributor, but we don't feel particularly concentrated or exposed there, given that our strength in retail has been very broad-based, he said. No comment about the Pinterest CEO. Pinterest. Some tech executives are keeping their fingers crossed that Temu ad spending surge will continue, hoping that it won't fizzle out like Wish, the e-commerce platform that sells low-cost products from China. Wish also helped bolster ad revenue of tech giants, which is fat ad budgets for a while, but it eventually faded. Advertising expenses for Wish in 2022 totaled 195 million, a far cry from the 1.6 billion the company sold out in 2020, according to its annual report. Wish.com still exists, I think, right? Does? But doesn't do this advertisement anymore. Meta Chief Financial Officer Susan Lee told in 2020, Facebook ads were amazing. It was a very good year of Facebook ads, and even by Wish spending 1.6 billion, and now we have Shane and Temu coming and spending billions, and it's really bad. Meta Chief Financial Officer Susan Lee told investors that although Chinese advertising has been strong this year, the level of growth in 2023 would be hard to replicate because 2022 spending was lower due to COVID lockdowns. She also said the market is broad. 2/3 of our China ad revenue came from advertisers outside the top spenders in the country in 2023, she said, so even within that, it is a diverse advertiser base. Of course, what else do you expect them to say? So that's the thing that I wanted to read about Temu, and I really find it interesting from the perspective of, okay, we do cry myself also sometimes about the CPMs and all of the things that are happening, but it's also really important, in my opinion, to be able to analyze that there are things that are causing all of that, and sometimes we're going to be able to spot them, sometimes not. Now, we know from the message that I read earlier, which is this over here, that there's an investigation from Meta. We know from this article that we have a problem with Temu and other advertisers spending billions on the platform, making it more expensive. And we know from platforms like Triple Whale or Tools, however we may call them, that there are a lot of changes happening also to that, and there are a lot of changes happening within the Meta platform, and it's becoming more expensive. And there are another 20 or 100 or 1000 things that we don't know. So what I'm trying to say is that you should think outside of the box. This is not about an excuse again, but I really want us to understand how the game is being played now and why it's really important to look at our numbers. Now, I have two fast things that I wanted to say. Another Meta rep, actually, we have discussed in this channel that we have now 8 Advantage Plus per country, but it would be ideal if we had more. Or another thing is that I have observed in 2 of my ad accounts that for no reason they can do more than 8 Advantage Plus campaigns. And now we have a confirmation of what is happening from Meta. So they proposed to one of my clients to do this. We have the option to allow list for 2 new features with Advanced Plus. Let me know which one you want to choose. To get access to first, both will be fully rolled out to all advertisers by the end of June. So most probably by the end of June, we're going to have more than 8 Advantage Plus campaigns across accounts. And this is a change that it has been announced. I'm talking about the second one, the geo-state inclusions with Advanced Plus. This is not recommended as it may decrease performance and overall conversion value, but it's an option if you are interested. This is this is because they said that, okay, advanced plus, but if, for example, by law, I'm forbidden to advertise for this service or for another service in a specific state, why are you forcing me to do that? So they cannot use advanced plus because they will have a problem. So that's one thing that it's coming that's going to be fixed by Meta. And then we have, of course, the option 1, which is expand limit of advanced plus campaigns per country. Instead of having 8 limit, you will be able to add as many advanced plus campaigns as you want. Finally, we are at the place that we're going to do as many advanced plus campaigns as we want, and this is going to help us a lot. Is it the end of CBO campaigns? In very big accounts, maybe. In smaller ad accounts, maybe it's going to be necessary. I don't care at all, guys. If the crazy method is going to die, it's going to die, okay? And it's going to be an old method that we were using, fine. But there are still going to be other accounts that they are going to need things in order to start until they train their pixels, so most probably we will be using it there. And eventually, I do believe that the algorithm is going to become that good that we are only going to do broad advantage plus, nothing else, and we will just focus on the creatives. And of course, the optimization of advantage plus and optimization of the whole ad account and how we keep it. Let's see here a Twitter from Alex Hooper, which said something interesting. Just to recap the previous subject, I think that data advanced plus is good. I think that it should happen. I don't understand the reason that we had a limit initially on 8, and I hope that's going to happen from June, July, and whatever. That is going to be amazing. Alex Cooper here. I ran an analysis on the top 5 performing ad creatives across 20 accounts to find out which creative styles have been the most successful. Here are a few things I found. So, just for the gossip, guys, because a lot of times there is always the question, what is the best kind of creative to use? Well, here we have someone who has done an analysis over the past of 12 months and is showing the results that the testimonial mashup, basically a lot of testimonials in one video, UGC testimonial single and customer testimonial. So basically 3 testimonials on the top are the ones that they did the best. Then we go to offer based, static benefit, call out and stuff. So I guess because of the first 3, we live in an era that people don't believe whatever they are being served. So here we have the situation that we have the testimonials being the best. This is just something to give you some inspiration if you don't have any. And of course, you can Google all of these terms and see examples about that. But it was a very interesting tweet, and I wanted to follow this with you. I wanted to share this with you. Hi guys, so I have a couple of campaigns running successfully with crazy method using stacked lookalikes. But I was testing some interest and find some good results with some of them. I want to scale more and reach new potential customers. Should I keep running the ABO interest and LLA with CBO, or should I jump into crazy method using interest also? Thanks in advance for any kind of opinion. So he has a couple of campaigns running with crazy methods, stack lookalikes, but testing some interests, and he found some good results, and he wants to scale more. No, I think that you can move your interest to CBO. Even if you have one interest which is working really well, you can move it to crazy method CBO. Yeah, that's a very simple answer. I think you should do it. I think that I talked with you in a personal message yesterday or today. I don't remember. So, next one. We have a couple of questions here to cover. Yes, that's all the questions. Okay. Let's put this on the side for psychological reasons, guys. Okay, so that we can feel that we don't have a lot. Okay. Hi, Konstantinos. I really appreciate the generosity of sharing your knowledge. Thank you. A question for setting up CBO ad sets using image dynamic ads. You mentioned 10 ad sets given 20 cost per purchase. with 100 daily budget. Does this mean finding 10 large enough interests? Or if I can only find 5, should I duplicate the same interest to ensure it reaches 10 ad sets? Not necessarily. So in the CPO optimization, and guys, if we go to the era that we will do only advanced plus, all of you are going to be liberated from having this difficult way of doing ads, which is the CPO. So over here we have a CPO which is he says 100 and average cost per purchase is on 20. So he says let's do 10 assets, which I don't get it. Okay, so 10 assets. I don't see the reason for 10 assets because you have $100 as a daily budget. I do think that you need to do 5. You're going to be fine with 5. Why 10 though? I just don't get why you are mentioning 10. You don't have $10 cost per purchase, for example, so I don't understand the 10. You can do 5 and it's going to be fine. And yes, it has to be some interests which are going to be similar on the size. Each ad set needs to have one interest which is going to be similar on the size. And if I'd like to test dynamic carousel ads along with image ads too, should I have 2 CPOs, one for image and one for carousel? Or should I have 1 CPO but 5 ad set, image and 5 carousel, and in this case the 5 interests would be the same? No, I think you should have different CPOs for the different grades that you have. Carousel ads tend to take more spend because people interact more with them, and Facebook thinks that they have more engagement from static image. So it's pushing them more when you add them at the same place with an image. I'm not sure if duplicating the interest with a CPO or having multiple CPO with same interest would cannibalize my own ads and either drive up ad spend or reduce ad effectiveness. Thank you so much. Basically, if you're using different creatives to your CPOs, you're going to cannibalize if you're going to use the same creatives all the time and you do the crazy method, which is something that I realized because people were doing it with the crazy method. I wasn't doing it because I could understand that you cannot just cannibalize the same thing again and again, and I was doing different interests or different creatives. If you just use the same thing all over again, then you're cannibalizing. If not, you're just going to be fine. We have Charles over here. Your channel is such a gem. Thank you for all the awesome strategies. Thank you. I'm just curious though, how do you know if it's a product problem and if we saturated the market? Our brand has been in business since 2018. We've weathered many storms and cycled through many strategies interest over the years. We're still milking a 50 million interest audience with new creatives added every year, but our ROAS has been unstable since iOS 14 around 2022 summer. Do you remember the whole topic that we discussed today about how different numbers made sense before and now different numbers now because things are changing? Well, the numbers that used to work for you in 2018, maybe they're not sustainable in 2022 after the changes that happened. This is why you need to have very, very big profit margins. Our collective videos have already gotten over 16 million views probably. We're still getting, but barely. Our break-even point was 1.8. Our best campaigns perform consistently around 2 ROAS, but it's not enough and seems to be diminishing with time. Do you think we have exhausted our audience base? It's more of a one-time purchase. Everyone would buy. Everyone who would buy has likely seen it. How would we know? Thanks. First of all, you cannot know. You cannot just go and say, okay, we saturated 50% of our market. You cannot do that. It would be almost impossible. You have to ask all the people, I guess, in order to know. The second thing that I want to mention here is that when a company starts and it is a startup, the numbers that it can see are completely different from the numbers that it's going to see after 3 years. This is why you see companies like big company, for example, Ridge Wallet, okay, the metal wallet thing. It starts as a startup with one item. Now they put another item, but another item, another item. Why? Because they need to keep getting more sales for the other items, increasing or keeping their revenue. Because if they don't put more products, first of all, they're not going to utilize their previous customers that they came. So, for example, if you tell me that this is one-time purchase and you haven't found another product which is selling equally well or 50% well as the first one, then this is your problem. You didn't evolve as a company, okay? You should have found another product in order for you to utilize all of your email list so that people can buy more and more. I'm just speculating here. Maybe you have done it. Another thing is that then it's okay, at the start you're having a lot of sales as a startup and everything, but eventually this number is going to drop. So how can you keep having the same sales or more sales? By adding more products or expanding to other countries. If you don't do all of that, then the only thing that you can do is to be able to find the ratio of new customers. For example, one buyer which is going to buy in 2 years, because right now it's 16 years old and in 2-3 years it's going to be 18-19 years old, then he or she is going to buy and it's going to become a customer. But this person is not yet a customer, it didn't mature enough. So we have the situation that you need to find how many customers, the ratio of how many customers are going to be entering the market as new leads for you, since you are a one-time purchase brand. And also now it's not going to be a certain number, but it's going to be a number that you will understand. Okay, when we are spending 1,000 per day, for example, we can be profitable. That means that you are playing within the safe area of tapping also some people that you haven't and some people that they're entering the market now, so that they are mature clients now while they were not before. And also the ratio of the competition. So you might be able to spend 1K, but unfortunately, companies are going to copy you, whatever that may be. So they're also going to steal some of these sales from the ratio. This is why we say that the new companies that they start and they have a product, they're just taking whatever it's inside the room, and the other companies that they're copying, depending on when they do that, they're just mopping the floor. So of what is left. So that's a situation, and what this is what we need to address. I have seen the story many times, okay? Companies being super profitable, either they didn't adapt, or they didn't find other products, or they don't realize that they cannot keep scaling without scaling to other countries or scaling with new products, or yeah, these two, nothing else. Or they need to be able to spend just an amount of money after some point that's going to be for all the new customers. But for me, doing ads and not utilizing an email list that is going to give you more and more sales for the new products that you have, I think it's a little bit stupid. On the other hand, there are different models, okay? It's going to be a company that sells something for one time, but most of the times they will try to find other products similar to that, or there's just going to be companies like fashion stores, for example, that they would try to sell you all the time, so building there is important. One last thing that I want to mention here, just so that you can understand how deep the knowledge about marketing goes, not from my side, but from the people that they do marketing. A company that is actually having a fashion store is going to just try to build a brand around it, and it's trying to have repeated customers, email list, and all of that. But companies, for example, let's say that your company is selling something for 24 years old people. Just a stupid example, okay, to understand. Companies like this, they are just going to prepare people in a way. For example, by just creating a a very funny video which appeals to 16, 18 or 20 years old teenagers, so that they're going to be ready and they know already the brand in order for them to purchase on the 24 and so on. So it's different way of looking at it. For example, if you have only one sale per person for whatever reason and they're not going to buy again, maybe you should focus into a long-term marketing on how you're going to prepare people that they are about to become customers to know you, so that they're going to think of you when the time comes. Just saying, but all of this is theory and all of that, but I just wanted to make this discussion so that we can understand further. The solution is not always on Facebook, going there and doing Advantage Plus instead of CBO, and this is going to help you. No. Facebook is just going to be a small presentation of what you have to people. Now, when you take all of this that I said earlier into the bigger picture and you start analyzing it, then you understand that Facebook is just a vessel to apply your strategy. Next one. Hello, thanks for one more great video. What can you advise as the best way to find your best sellers among new products? Let's say I wanted to test 5 products in one campaign, learning more towards the CBO structure, as it has shown better results for me. What campaign structure would you choose with a budget of 60 and an average cost per purchase of 9, average cost for other products? Because obviously I don't know which will be new ones. I guess Advantage Plus. I would try Advantage Plus in order to see which one is doing better. I wouldn't like to do CBO to decide which one is doing better. I would like to do Advantage Plus. Advantage Plus is fine with this budget. It's also more friendly for Advantage Plus. Next one. Leaning more towards CBO structure has shown better results for me. Oh, so we have a campaign that doesn't work very well with that, so we have to think of something with CBO. Yeah, I guess the next thought that I have is whatever is the structure that has worked better. For example, if you do CBO stacked lookalikes or CBO broad and it's working very well with your working creatives, in order for you to be able to be sure that you are not using a lot of different variables, is this. I have the structure which is working with these creatives, so I'm going to change the creatives in order to see if the creatives and the product in this extent, in order to see if this is going to work or not. In that way, I know that I'm just testing the creatives and the product in order to find a bestseller or a best-selling creative. Since this strategy and this structure is already working with another campaign, we cannot blame this one for a fail. I would like to receive advice on my current campaign. It's a CBO campaign with a $50 budget, 3 assets, each with 2 creatives. On the first day, the campaign have profit considering all expenses for products, advertising. He received 7 orders. On the second day, I have -12, I received 2 orders. Now the third day after spending 25 have been 0 orders. First of all, it's very difficult to send me messages like this, guys, and expect me to just magically imagine your ad account. And when you do CBO optimization, you look more than one things, okay? And it's impossible for you to send me a message that it's going to have everything. Or you are sending me print screens, for example, okay? Guys, this is not how CBO optimization is being done. Also, I'm not going to comment on the fact that you are just watching the third day. The third day is something that hasn't finished yet, so you should not just calculate it. Of course, here you are trained and you know that I'm going to ask more things, but it's not enough. The cost per 1,000, and also I have to imagine it, you know. It's not so easy in a text to imagine how this campaign looks. The cost per 1,000 impression, cost per click, CTR normal for this for all 3 days. Given my campaign structure and performance, what would you advise at this moment? With a small number of assets, I understand that turning off one asset might not make much sense. So should I let the campaign run for the rest of the day and then turn it off and nothing is happening, it lands for tomorrow? Thanks a lot. I think I already replied to this comment, and maybe this is why I added it here, because I wanted to say that don't do that, okay? Don't send me that and expect me to reply. I cannot do optimization by paper, by watching a piece of paper or a piece of text. This is the end of the first part of the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. If you don't want to miss the second half of the podcast, where I'm answering all the remaining questions of the week, visit my Patreon page following the link on the description. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.